Dozens gather in Freeport's Arts Plaza, combining a Memorial Day ceremony with mental health awareness. WYFR's Bria Walters talks to those in attendance about the event and why they chose to spend the holiday there.
There's a lot of stigma around mental health, and we want to break down the silos.
Honoring veterans in mental health fit together like puzzle pieces, according to Lindsay McDaniel, who organized the Future They Fought For, an event in Freeport.
The significance of the Americans that served and paid the ultimate price. They were doing it because they loved America, and we took the opportunity to combine that with mental health awareness.
Once a mother raising twin boys in a home that openly talked about mental health, Angela Pierce now spends her days as a business owner volunteering for events like Mondays.
As a parent, it's important to have relationships with your kids that are built up and figuring out exactly who they are and who they want to be.
With help from Mayor Jody Miller, McDaniel gives the city a mission to create an open mental health dialogue, especially for children.
We charge every child, family, and community member with one simple, meaningful action: the 5 for 5 Connection Challenge. Engage in one conversation, 5 days a week, voice to voice.
It's half work, half enjoying the day with family for Hope Wins program director Janelle Nelson. She just wants people to know that mental health resources exist in the Pretzel City.
Our whole mission is to equip parents and families with the tools that they need to build those healthy relationships.
It's not only something that we talk about to reduce the stigma, but it's things that we actually use and take action.
In Freeport, Bria Walters, WYFR News.
McDaniel's organization Hope Wins teams up with Pierce's Gym often to host mental health events like character development programs. For more information, you can visit our website, wyfr.com.